Okay, this is Ms. Liz coming back to you from the dog park with some more ideas about helping your kids during these hard times as we're coping with the COVID-19 virus. And I would like to say for parents, the most important thing that you can do for your children is make sure you have a routine. It doesn't have to be your old routine. It doesn't have to be somebody else's routine. It has to be a routine though, so your kids can feel safe. Kids find security and safety and comfort in routines. So your number one thing is you want to start establishing a routine. And you can establish a routine based on the things you already do naturally. Say like right now you wake up around 9 and then you go watch cartoons and have breakfast. You know, those things can be in your routine. It doesn't have to be a super structured routine. But I want you to start doing some of the same things every day, making a time for certain activities. Thinking about what your daily routine is. Now, the second thing I'd like you to keep in mind is that children are very sensitive and they have big imaginations. Sometimes they don't tell you what they're thinking of, but they're listening to everything in the room and they're hearing everything around them. And they might be terrified and not tell you. They might be crying themselves to sleep at night. If they come to you and tell you that they have feelings like they're scared, they're worried, don't tell them, oh, it's okay, it's fine, or stop crying, it's fine, or don't talk about that. Don't shut them down. Sit there and listen to them, talk to them, engage them, and ask them, let them ask you questions, and you ask them questions and answer their questions. It's a time for a dialogue. We're not hiding this from our children. They already know. So we need to have a dialogue with them, and we need to be mindful that they're little people just like us, and they have thoughts and feelings and fears, and all of those are magnified. Number 3, try to keep the news and scary things out of their hearing. So I just said we want to discuss it with them, but we want to keep it at their level. Be careful when you're talking on the phone. Be careful when you're watching TV. They're picking up everything in the background. Just like when you have a dog and it picks up like every single emotion you have, your kids do too. So you need to be aware of that so you can be a comfort for your kid during these trying times. Keep it light, keep it easy. If you definitely need time for yourself to decompress, to talk, to worry, to watch the news. Do that when you're behind closed doors and not with your kids and not within earshot. Number 4, limit screen time. This is a great time where we can go out and explore our backyards. Remember those things that we used to do when we were young? We played in the dirt. We looked at birds. You can make homemade bird feeders. You can play games outside like tag and color tag and freeze tag. You can play music at home. You can play hot or cold, like find where is it, you hide something, am I hot, am I cold, where is it, hot potato. There's a ton of games and things that you can be doing, and I'm going to do a whole video about all of those later. But limit that screen time and have fun time, because if your kids are at home and they're just on the screen all day, they're going to be anxious and stressed out and nervous too. It's not a good thing for anybody. Limit those video games too. Have a time in your day when you're going out. Have several times a day when you take a break and go outside and just have fun. Just like they would at school when they go to recess and lunch. Okay, number 5. Take advantage of homeschooling if you're able to be home with them and homeschool. Use this time to teach them about thematic units, which I just did a video about broad learning. Learn about cultures, learn about different animals. Like when we were young, we would do reports on something. So think about as if you're doing on a report. Right now we're learning about Iceland. Right now we're learning about football. Right now we're learning about civil rights. And take that and use those activities, learn about it, research it, find about it, have them reading and writing about it. Because what the schools want our kids to be able to do is just be able to read and write and talk about things. So you get them reading, writing, and talking about these things, and they're learning as they go along, not just boring activities that they're just producing on paper to prove they can read, write, and talk. And for mathematics, Consider IXL.com a membership. That's a great site that helps them. It's all based on the standards and helps them keep their mathematics up to par, and then that'll take the pressure off of you. Also consider an online tutor. I do online tutoring, and it helps my clients because they have an hour or two a day where they can have some time to themselves while their kids getting entertained by somebody else and learning and having fun. And what else can we think of? Take the time with your kids to think about gratitude. Make a list of good things about the virus that are happening. People are staying home. There's less pollution. Gas prices are lower. People are finding time to learn more and do more fun things together. We're being creative. We're helping our neighbors. Do a gratitude list every day. That's something that can help your child be in a good frame of mind. And another thing that I think we could do is reading out loud to our children. This would be a great time to read the story of Anne Frank to your children, or have your older children read it so they can think about how she was hiding in that attic for almost 800 days with her family and had to be silent, which is a lot more than we're having to do now, just having to stay home. And they can relate right now, and they can see her positive attitude, and they can relate it to their lives. And it's a real good piece of wisdom right now. And also remember your religion right now. If you're religious, it's time to learn about that with your children and use those religious teachings to help them cope with what's going on. Put that religion into action today and apply it to the situation. Show them what your religion says about times like these and how they can help. And a final thing is, make your kid into a activist. Just like Greta Thunberg, they can be an activist to tell the kids to stay home and not go out, to keep the older people and their parents safe. A lot of young people think that it's okay to go out because they're not going to get sick. Make your kids warriors who are telling everyone to get the message out that we all need to do our part and stay at home. They can make content, they can make content to entertain other people, videos, singing, all sorts of stuff you can do from home and with the internet. We're so lucky these days we have the internet. So there's just a plethora of ways that you can make these times good. I remember I read a story once about Japanese family in internment camps in California, and about the ways that they helped their children through it. And so that life almost felt normal for them. Right now, this is our job. This is not as bad as that. And it's our job to help our children get through this and live normally and be happy. This morning I was driving around looking for toilet paper, and I made it into a fun scavenger hunt. I was laughing about it. I was by myself. I didn't have a kid, but my kid's 18 now. But if you have your kids, you can go do a toilet paper search or something like that. Just reframe it and make it fun. Keep it light. These are actually great times, we'll find out later. Wonderful things are happening. Although there is the great fear and the death and the sadness, there is a lot of good. In this world of justice, good always comes out of the bad, and we just have to look for it. Go help your kids find that. Thank you.